So Geoff is going to give me a story.
True story. And she has to solve it. And then I'll tell her what I did.
I may not solve it, but...
Well, yeah, you got to be the consultant.
I'll tell you what I would do.
Here we go.
And I do not know what's coming.
Nope. Small company, decent sized sales force. Their most senior salesperson basically was just running out of steam. And so they were trying new approaches to selling. They were trying to digitize more of their CRM, their customer relationship management software. And this guy basically was like out of steam. They couldn't fire the guy because he had basically helped train the CEO and was a fixture in the company. And they couldn't figure out, they've tried to gently encourage, are you ready to retire? No, not quite ready. You know, my wife's not quite ready. And is there anything we can do? Do you need anything? And it was basically going nowhere. And so we got the call. How would you help this company? It was the president or the CEO who reached out to us. And he had to decide, what am I going to do? What am I going to do about my longest serving salesperson who's basically run out of steam and isn't leaving?
And they won't fire?
Nope. No firing.
Okay. I mean, if you're not willing to fire, it means that you're willing to pay for maybe a lesser job.
Yep.
And so, and his expertise is training people on sales. I would consider having a conversation with him about just being the training position and giving him a schedule that he wants.
Well, Deller, you done good. What we actually did was similar to that. We basically created a job where he can mentor the younger salespeople and retain a couple of his legacy accounts. Mm-hmm. And we gave it a title that had, I forget the name of it, but basically we gave it a nicer sounding title. And we actually paid the guy, had the company pay him a little bit more money. I almost would call it a faux promotion, but a face-saving way to give the guy a little more money, to basically take him out of being a salesperson, let him do more of the training he wanted, and then he held on to the couple legacy accounts where they would only deal with that guy anyway.
Yeah, I think it seems startling because everybody thinks we run on a meritocracy. But this happens all the time in organizations because as people age, they sometimes aren't as effective either because of technology or because of energy.
Yeah.
But they actually built the organization.
Yeah.
And like, even if this man didn't stay in the sales position, my sense is that a huge percent of the revenue being generated by the company was basically his doing initially. And so it's not as crazy as it sounds to continue to pay him and even to pay him a little bit more while finding a job that sort of offsets that cost. It's like almost like a long-term commission.
Yeah.
And you're offsetting that cost by trying to basically leverage his expertise and develop future versions of him. So that way the company's actually in a better position in the long term than just relying on one guy who has 80% of the sales or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I brought it up to the CEO and I basically said, how much would it be worth for you to solve this problem? And he's like, at the time he said, it's been a few years ago, he's probably, whatever, $150,000. And I'm like, let's just take 10% of that, $15,000. Let's promote this guy out of this position. And as soon as I said that, he's like, we can do that? And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure you're the CEO of this company, right? It's actually was the dude's name on the company. Pretty sure you could do this. Cut your name out on the front. And that's what we did. And it was like a light bulb to the guy. And it's legit. Like the title sounded better. It let the guy do a little training. He could hold his accounts he wanted. And they gave him $15,000 more, over $1,000 a month. And so the guy was grateful for it. He did the work for another 3 or 4 years. It freed up another spot inside. Mm-hmm. And it basically...
It developed the people too.
Yeah. And it let the rest of the sales force jumped forward with their technology. They switched their CRM system within 60 days. And then it changed the vibe. Yeah. All right. You done good.
Okay. This particular employee was having a problem with their boss because their boss did not respect off time. And so getting called in, even when was off, would get phone calls that were kind of work related. It was like constant interruption, constant presence to the point where it was damaging his relationship with his wife. And he is a people pleaser.
Very interesting. All right. And so my first step would be to coach him through a direct conversation with his boss. And with honesty, it sounds like they're kind of tight. So like, this is actually impacting my home life now. And I need my time on whatever after 6 p.m. I need my time on the weekends, whatever the actual needs are. And so I'd start there. And then based on how that conversation went, and so would the employee be able to have the conversation?
No.
Okay.
That was my problem.
All right. Because he actually didn't want to have the conversation with the
people pleaser.
Yeah. All right. And so then I would ask if I could facilitate the conversation as the coach. Because a lot of times the people know us, and
sure.
So, hey, let's, and occasionally, depending on how well I knew the supervisor, I would say, let's do it right now and not give them time to think about it. Let me call right now and put them on speakerphone. Or if it was, let's walk down there right now and see if she'll see us, the boss. And then I would help facilitate the conversation.
Okay.
And then, and so let's assume that those two didn't happen. I would ask the person to play it out. Like, how does this end? And most people, if it's impacting their significant home relationship, will play it mentally out of, if it gets much worse, I probably have to look for alternatives. And so then it's another way back in for, do you want to do that? No, I don't really. I love this person. And what do you think your boss is going to say when you leave? Like, she's not going to believe it. We have a good relationship. So it's not worth talking to her. And I would go back again to try to make a case for talking directly to the boss. And if that doesn't work, I'd say, okay, then let's get prepared. Let's get prepared for you to leave. And I'd be nice about it, but you're doing this. Like, you're going to surprise your boss. And in reality, we've done enough of these where they may say that they're leaving, have a job, and then the boss is stunned into like, what? No, don't do that. We'll give you more money.
Yeah, don't plan on that.
Yeah, don't plan on it.
Because you can get people who are equally angry that you're leaving.
Yeah, for sure. Totally. Anyway, that's my basic answer is encourage him to have a conversation with her. If not, I facilitate that. If neither of those, then have him mentally play it out. As he plays it out and he sees his relationship with this wife is going to get worse, see if that would encourage him to go ahead and have the conversation. If it doesn't, prepare alternatives.
Yeah. Not able to have the conversation, easier to have an upset wife who you think you have some goodwill with, and you are just betting that the wife will, that they're not happy, but you're betting that they'll tolerate it because he did not want to have that conversation because he's a people pleaser and didn't want to have the conversation with me, with the boss, because again, does not want to be in that position. And so I had them actually read The Power of a Positive No. And then we rehearsed.
Just Yuri.
Just Yuri.
Just Yuri.
Anyway, same author as Getting to Yes. But Power of Positive No, because it has a very clear structure and it's really good for people pleasers in that you are saying yes, but you're saying the yes to what you want to say and not the yes to what they're asking. And so you actually are saying no to exactly what they're
Right.
you're saying no to how they want you to do it, but usually you're saying yes to helping facilitate getting it done.
Yeah.
And so we practice that and practice being a little less available and trying to increase that over time. And so it was a very gentle way of trying to reclaim their time, but a struggle.